The very first thing that I am wanting to go ahead and talk about, because I did touch on it a little bit last week, but I honestly had not done research. I had really just heard about it in passing. And one thing that I did want to go ahead and just talk about honestly for a second is that Buffalo mass shooting. That shit. I'm not sure if any of y'all are aware, but it was a racially motivated attack. And that for me is one of the most terrifying things. And I don't even feel like it has to be terrifying just as a black man, but I feel like it's so crazy that I'm not even lying to you. I was going to the grocery store the other day and literally pulling in the grocery store, I was planning out my funeral. And the fact that it is causing everybody, it's causing me tremendous anxiety and PTSD to even go out in public. I know Pride and stuff like that's coming up next week. And it's just, it's scary because you never know what is going to set a person off. You never know what particular group that person is going to be after that week. So I want to know. Well, I don't want to know. I just wanted to just touch base and just let y'all, like, I just want to know. I'm sorry, y'all. It bothers me so much, y'all. It bothers me. But are we going to have to arm ourselves in order to protect ourselves in situations like that? Because you have people who, like myself, who do not believe in guns, right? I'm terrified of guns. I ain't never even held a gun. But we're getting to a place, and I'm pretty sure, like in California, I've heard it's like damn Gotham City out there at this point. So I'm like, at what point do we do to protect ourselves without jeopardizing our own morals and integrity and shit like that? Let me get off that. I'm just gonna say, y'all racist motherfuckers, fuck y'all. I hope that motherfucker burns in hell. I've never wished that on nobody in life. The fact that he was so still, he had no emotion on his face while they were arresting him, fucking traumatized me all in itself. I think they should have killed his ass, dropped him right where he was. Because had that been a person of complexion, we've been on the flow, and we all know how that goes. So I honest to God, just want to go ahead and just send 100% like just the sincerest condolences to all 10 of those families and everybody that was involved in that, because that has to be a traumatic and scary thing. Like, I even know from the whole post incident that happened years ago, ever since that happened, I don't really go anywhere without mapping out an escape plan.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like, does that affect you? Like, when you go out, do you think about like, oh my God, is somebody gonna fucking snap today? Or is that something where you're just like, that's just, neither here nor there, it just happens?
It's all I think about, honestly.
It gives you PTSD for some shit that you weren't even involved with.
Oh yeah, it's all I think about is mass shootings, and like, it's sad to say because like I don't go out thinking about mass shootings, but it's always in the back of my mind.
You have to. I'm sitting here thinking like I'm gonna scale the cabinets and I'm gonna jump up into the motherfucking ceiling and shit. Like what?
Yeah, I'm always thinking of like, well, what am I gonna do? Well, a similar situation. Well, it wasn't really an intense situation, but this week at work, I work in Beverly Hills, so I was taking a walk on my 15-minute break. And I walked down Rodeo, and there was a guy that stole from Chanel store, and he was running down the street, and the cops were chasing him. And then me and my coworker were beating across the street, and we were like, "Wait, he's running back towards us." And I'm like, "What do we do? We got to get out the way." But I didn't know which way he was gonna go.
Yeah,
mind you, I didn't think he was gonna do nothing to us, but we was just thinking the worst, like, what if he grabs one of us and tries to hold us hostage?
See, that's why I'm gonna get me some damn mace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some mace. I done been mace before. I got bare mace. That shit took me. Look, I was on the ground. I was like, "Oh, help me, Jesus!" I was on the ground. You hear me? So I feel like at some point we really got to start protecting. Like I'll never forget. There was one time when I was working this fundraiser event for the whole post situation when that happened, where we ended up raising a whole lot of money. I remember walking past the bathroom, and I guess somebody just let the toilet seat slam or something like that, and the sound of the toilet seat crashing like that almost sent me through the goddamn ceiling. And I think that we shouldn't be worried about this shit when we go to school, when we go to church, when we go to fucking get groceries. Like, this is insane. So, sorry, y'all.
It's a lot.
So JT says, that's why I'm glad I live in a very black city. I'm from South Carolina, where it's racism everywhere. Atlanta has kept me safe from those kind of people. I believe that shit. And you know what else? I got a general rule. If you got a trench coat on, I'm getting out the building. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You can be any color, whatever. If we in a building, and you got on a coat, a trench coat,
Everything. No.
you could have the purest of intentions. I'm still hitting you with my car.
A car.
You could have Bibles underneath that motherfucker. Boom, excuse you. All right. Anyway, thank you for your input on that, JT. I appreciate that, my friend. Okay, so did you have anything else that you wanted to add into the whole Buffalo shooting or anything like that? I didn't want to get too deep, but I also wanted to make sure, because last week I just kind of like swept over it, but I really wanted to make sure that I just showed them people some love, because that's horrible.
Yeah, it's like I just feel horrible that this is a thing that we have to keep
Right.
with constantly for no reason at all, just from hate.
Not even necessarily target. Like I can't even get mad at. Well, I'm devastated by it was 10 black people.
Of course,
Did you hear what he wrote on his gun?
I didn't.
He wrote on his gun, "Here are your reparations, niggers." He lived 2.5 hours from where that store was. He drove down to that neighborhood.
This was very premeditated.
Very. They said he was there the day before. When I tell you, like, I don't cry at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just playing, y'all. I'll be like, I'll be gone. But that honestly just, it had me in tears. Watching the video, watching people just reacting outside that store, it broke my heart. Honestly, that was one of the most devastating things. And you know, at my old age, my older age, death doesn't really bother me. It's really just about how it affects the people around them, like how they are dealing with it. And when somebody gets murdered, that's a whole different way to deal with some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you know somebody's gonna die, they sick and whatever, but to get killed tragically like that,
No warning.
those families have to be in uproars right now.
Of course.